The Philadelphia Eagles have one of the most exciting stories from the entire 2026 NFL Draft, my friend, and it started in a way that nobody inside the organization could have planned more perfectly. A wide receiver who won the most important award at his position in college football, who was unanimously named an All-American, who led the best conferences in the country in receiving yards per game, and who entered the draft as one of the most complete receivers in the entire class, almost played in the league for a different team. Because before the Eagles showed up, this player went through one of the worst interview performances in NFL Combine history, put on a showing so confusing that scouts from multiple franchises completely crossed him off their draft boards, and literally cost himself millions of dollars in contract guarantees before ever playing a single professional snap. And now, according to the most respected Eagles reporter at ESPN, that same player is already working with the starters and being described as a central part of the franchise's offensive plans for 2026. Who is this wide receiver? What did he do to create so much controversy before the draft? And why do the Eagles believe he could be one of the best slot receivers in the NFL as early as his very first season? I am going to walk you through everything about this first-round pick's arrival in Philadelphia, from his journey at USC to the dramatic moment of draft night, through what the first practices reveal about his fit in Sean Mannion's new scheme. But first, if you are a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe right now, because this could be one of the best first-round selections Howie Roseman has made in years. This player's name is Makai Lemon, born on June 2nd, 2004, in Los Alamitos, California, with native Hawaiian roots in his family. Selected with the 20th overall pick of the 2026 NFL Draft after a trade the Eagles made with the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, the Cowboys themselves, sending picks 114 and 137, along with the 23rd selection in exchange for the right to jump 3 spots and secure the wide receiver before the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were picking right behind them, could take him. While Steelers general manager Omar Khan was on the phone with Lemon, seconds away from revealing that Pittsburgh was about to select him, the Eagles called with the news that they had jumped ahead. It was one of the most dramatic moments of draft night. And with A.J. Brown traded to the New England Patriots in June of 2026, Lemon arrived in Philadelphia at exactly the moment the franchise needed what he offers. Howie Roseman signed him to a 4-year, $20.8 million fully guaranteed contract. To understand what Lemon represents, you need to know the story that brought him here. From childhood, Lemon played on the same Pop Warner team as quarterback Malachi Nelson. The two have been close friends since they were kids, and even won a national championship together. Both initially committed to the Oklahoma Sooners, but when head coach Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma to take over at USC, they both followed him. Lemon enrolled at USC in the spring of 2023 after graduating high school early. In his first year, he participated in 9 games with just 6 receptions for 88 yards, and even played cornerback at times due to injuries in the Trojans roster. In 2024, he began to show his true level: 52 receptions, 764 yards, and 3 touchdowns, including an absurd game against Rutgers where he totaled 256 all-purpose yards. And in 2025, Lemon completely blew the roof off: 79 receptions, 1,156 yards, and 13 touchdowns, 11 receiving, 2 rushing, and he even threw a touchdown pass against Oregon, becoming the first Big Ten player to catch 2 touchdown passes and complete a touchdown pass in a single game since Eric Decker in 2009. He led the Power 4 in receiving yards per game, was unanimously named an All-American, and won the Biletnikoff Award, given to the best receiver in college football, beating out other major candidates including Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State. His PFF grade of 90.8 was the highest of any wide receiver in college football in 2025. And then the Combine came, and that is where everything changed dramatically. Lemon entered Indianapolis as one of the best receivers in the draft, projected by many to be selected within the top 10. And then he had an interview session with teams that went viral for all the wrong reasons. Scouts and insiders described his demeanor as confusing, his attitude as problematic, and his performance in team meetings as among the worst they had ever seen from a first-round candidate. Multiple franchises crossed him off their boards entirely. One source told the specialized media that the reaction was to a player with outstanding talent and a terrible attitude, a disaster. Another insider said that whoever advised Lemon before those interviews should be fired immediately. The result was that a wide receiver many had in their top 10 fell all the way to the 20th pick, Exactly where the Eagles went to get him, paying a price that, had the combine not gone that way, would almost certainly have been impossible. And here is the central point of this entire story. The Eagles did not care about the noise from the interviews. Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni did their own evaluation, had their own meeting with Lemon at the combine, and during a special top 30 visit to the Jefferson Health Training Complex, and concluded that what mattered was on the field, and on the field, Lemon was simply too good to pass up. Roseman was public in his assessment. He spoke about Lemon's ability to create separation in man coverage, about his play out of the slot, about his exceptional hands, about his instincts with the ball in his hands. Sirianni went further. He described Lemon's ability to make contested catches as something extraordinary, and talked about the toughness and competitiveness the wide receiver displays even in contact situations. Draft analyst Lance Zierlein described Lemon as a high-skill, high-volume receiver with extraordinary ball skills, intelligent, confident, and polished, capable of creating separation at all three levels of the field. The comparison most used by analysts is to Amon-Ra St. Brown of the Detroit Lions, another USC product who uses burst off the line, agility, and route intelligence to become impossible to cover out of the slot. The story of his fit in Sean Mannion's scheme is what makes this situation even more exciting. Mannion is installing a system inspired by the Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay coaching tree, loaded with pre-snap motion, play action, and route concepts that depend on receivers capable of creating separation with burst and route precision, not necessarily with straight-line speed. That is exactly Lemon's profile. At mandatory minicamp, according to ESPN's Tim McManus, Lemon jumped into the mix with the starters and was used primarily in the slot, described as a central part of the plans involving pre-snap motion. His short area quickness stood out immediately. There were expected growing pains. He is a rookie in his first NFL minicamp, but the early signs were positive enough for McManus to write specifically that Lemon is already an important part of how the Eagles plan to transform the offense in 2026. A hamstring injury kept him out of some minicamp work, but the expectation is that he will be fully healthy for training camp in July. With Devonta Smith as the #1 receiver, Lemon occupies an extremely important role in the slot, the same slot that A.J. Brown had vacated not just in numbers but in presence. Dontavion Wicks, Hollywood Brown, and Elijah Moore round out a receiver group that, collectively, gives Mannion multiple weapons to create the route combinations his scheme demands. But among all the new names, Lemon has the highest ceiling, and the statement of faith Roseman made by moving up in a trade with the Cowboys, paying real picks to secure the spot, says everything about what this franchise believes about the potential of this 21-year-old. Biletnikoff Award winner, dramatic draft day fall because of the combine, selected in a trade with the Dallas Cowboys themselves, already working with the starters in his first minicamp. The question left for you, Eagles fan, is direct. Do you believe Makai Lemon can be a top 10 slot receiver in the NFL in his very first season, or will he need a year of adjustment before showing the best of his game at the professional level? Drop your opinion in the comments. Do not forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I will be back later to keep you updated with the latest Eagles news.